And we're back. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles, Season 1, Episode 28. I'm your DM and host, Marty, now speaking through a microphone that is working. Thank you, Windows Update, for changing all of my settings and for me not realizing it. I'm joined by two-thirds of the Ontario crew, Mark and Adam. We already did the pregame chatter, so we're ready to go. Why don't we do a quick recap of what happened last game, just because this will be the take of the beginning of game that will go on YouTube. So let's do a quick recap. The good, the bad, and the bugly. The Steel Rose Watch battles to clear out the Ankheg infestation. Sunny finds a shrine dedicated to death and decay. Back at the Steel Rose Mill, a strange worm tries to climb into Sunny's head. Dassod spies upon the specters, the gang of the Skugard neighborhood. While Sunny and Dee Dee go to speak to the Deacon at the Sylvan Acres, the rest of the watch goes to Skugard Station to battle the escaped Behir in its lair. If you were here at the beginning, Mark had a good hearty laugh about how Amadeus just schooled the will-o-wisp that was at the Skugard Station, and then we all laughed at how Dugganschmirph got digested by the Behir.
In almost an identical manner.
Right. We divvied some treasure. Sunny and Amadeus are kind of the treasure winners of the last treasure pile, as there was a dead druid that was found in the Ankheg lair, and some of the gear ended up on Sunny's sheet, and then I think Amadeus got a headband of wisdom plus a +2 ring, so his AC went up.
AC and CMD, so good luck getting out of those grapples even more now.
Yep, Slake is Agony got a belt of con, which is helping him prepare for his next level, where he doesn't get a hit dice as he's going up in Half Dragon template. We were just doing downtime, and let's do a recap of where we got with the downtime. There's a 3 block of downtime before something happens. As per our generated downtime and adventure using our custom adventure bot. So, Slake is doing a bunch of crafting, including found some superior quality tools that are non-magical tools that give him a +4 on craft checks. They're very expensive. He bought some of those for armor and weapons. He is crafting his new suit and his pinnacle suit of mithril full plate. Basically, the stuff he wanted at first level is now going to be made by his own hands at 7th, and I've got a little surprise at the end of downtime. He's building with the mithril scraps a new tower shield with a buttress on it to improve its hit points. He is rebuilding the sled that got destroyed last game, which was his old tower shield that you guys use as a sled in the Ankheg lair, like a bobsled kind of thing. And then he also reforged his adamantine great axe that got broken in a few adventures ago. Agony is doing what we call face punch training, which is training to gain hit points up to the maximum amount you could have rolled if you rolled max on your hit die. He's also going to study his manuals a little bit. These are the manuals that describe how to undergo or how to go up in one of the 4 paths of Red Dragondom: dominance, aggression, greed, and I'm missing destruction. Destruction. Yeah, I think we know what path he's going to take, and this will probably make Dugan happy. Dee Dee is doing some crafting for the group. We were going through which items she crafted. She crafted a handy haversack for herself. She crafted pages of spell knowledge, air bubble, and alarm for Agony, because that's like the best item ever. She has to be able to cast the spells in order to share them, so that, and then they're pretty expensive at beyond first level. She's crafting a secondary power into Dugan's gloves, adding +5 competence bonus to sleight of hands, and she can do all those and consider those done. Take the costs off your character sheets. She is also, with her last block of training, she's going to make some art. Amadeus had come to her asking her to make him a belt. She sent Amadeus to Slake, basically saying Slake's better at making armor-like pieces. She wants Amadeus to interact with Slake because she thinks that Amadeus is a good influence upon him. So yeah, there may be a conversation that we need to have with Slake
Slake
between
turns
Amadeus.
Amadeus into a remorseless killing machine.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pretend you're Slake.
if you stare into the abyss, Slake, the abyss stares into you. All right, Capra is doing some trading as there was a significant amount of wealth that was acquired. He's also doing some rune trading. If you could highlight some of the runes that you're buying, Capra, that would be great.
All right, so Capra is getting the armor spell storing rune added to his mithril mithril breastplate.
Okay.
So he can get attack spells put into his armor. So if you touch him, it hurts you. Like I'm thinking, getting somebody to put curse, still curse. You touch me, you get cursed.
Yep.
Don't touch me. He's going to buy a few arrows of detonation from the arrow shop because fireballs in arrow form, they're expensive. But how else do you clear big infestation bugs everywhere?
Nice.
Oh, perfect. And then we're going to take one of the items that we had in our treasure sheet. We have this Ghost Light Blade, a +1 Ghost Touch Mithril Longsword, and we're going to pull the magic off of it and put it on a stack of arrows to give some +1 Ghost Touch arrows, and give the Mithril Longsword to basically Slake to make stuff out of. Because he likes mithril, and it's a sword.
Got it. Yeah, and did the sword radiate light?
It does radiate light.
Okay, we're going to say that property does transfer along with the +1 rune. So those arrows actually radiate a bit of light as well.
That's awesome.
Okay, so mark down mark down the Uber ghost fighting arrows. Make sure you mark those down. So you'd leave little 5-foot radius light,
little candles everywhere.
Little candles, yeah, little candles of hope in the horrible darkness that is that encounter. Okay, so you do some rune trading, and then you're going to do some rat catching. So I assume you're just taking minor bounties and patrolling the neighborhood, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and keeping a special eye out in case anybody is upset about a bear here. We're kind of focused on sort of that southeastern part of town.
Got it. Yeah, so you're kind of patrolling the edges of the town. Give me a your profession rat catcher check, and then give me a perception check.
You think I'd do this as a profession?
Do you have any ranks in any survival maybe or to hunt?
I've got survival.
Okay, yeah.
I've got stuff to help me hunt.
You can hunt minor vermin and and dangerous things that way. So Capra goes around the neighborhood, tipping over any standing water that might collect mosquito bugs. And
if we're trying to get rats, they got me this the flute where I could use the pipe for the pipe for the rats to just suck them all out.
Do you have the skills to activate such an item?
Yeah, sure. Of course I do.
Okay. Okay. If you're using that item, I'm going to say that you make triple the money in rat catching this per block.
Cool.
Because effectively you walk into a 500-foot radius area or something like that and conjure all the
rats to be,
and then gather up all the children to help kill the rats with sticks. I'm picturing the kill the bugs scene from the movie
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Yeah. Everyone do their part. 27. Okay, so you make all the other rat catchers in this area envious, as word is that Capra's pulling rats from other neighborhoods to kill them. So you make
union bosses mad at me.
You make 81 gold pieces from your rat catching.
Oh, that's awesome. Capra will take. He will take 61. 20 of them went to the kids who helped. Just kids who were helping smash his.
Okay.
He's giving them money, so he's.
Capra doesn't come across necessarily all the time as a very charismatic person, but he does have a charisma of 22. So yeah, he's able to convince some of the neighborhood villagers or citizens to come out and stomp down the vermin that is the rat swarm.
Is there some rat stomping jig that people do? Get your rat stomping shoes. It's time to dance.
Okay, so yeah, Capra is doing well at keeping vermin levels low. Dugganschmirph does some trading as a significant amount of money and goods need to be transferred into wealth. And then you're gathering info about the jewelers. Now, I assume you mean the Davhorn Jewelry?
Yes.
Okay, so what specifically you're trying to find out?
Hours of operation, who goes in and out, like who, not the front entrance, but like employees, what doors do they use, or how do they get in and
Okay,
out?
are you asking or are you watching?
He's watching.
All right, I actually have a map.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to take Dugganschmirph and move him to said map. It is in the foreign market Davhorn Jewelers. And I'm going to put you down there. I'm going to make this player visible and start unfogging. So the front of the building has a weird... oops, let me... Do I have a map tools? Yeah, I do. Forest player, center player in view. All right, the front of the building, you've been in this little room before. You know that the secure chamber and the customer service hole is this little room right here.
Yep.
It has a funny front. It's almost like there should have been a storefront, but it is all like bricked up.
Okay.
There is an upper floor. We'll get to the upper floor in a second. There is a unwelcome wide alleyway, like you could fit a wagon down the alleyway along this side. There is a another unwelcome and unfortunately spaced out area on the other side of the building. So this gray is just the ground. And then the back of the building, while there's space, is just an unbroken wall.
How the fuck do people get in and out? Because
It's a good question. I'm just gonna... Yeah, it's an... Oops. Sorry, I'm dealing with it really zoomed in. There we go. So it's an unbroken wall along the back of the building. And then the upper floor, I'm just going to unfog to the north a little bit.
Okay.
Has kind of a rounded balcony. And there are two doors up there. But again, no windows. Very uninviting. There are some vents. There are a collection of chimney vents that you might be able to climb down, but you do see that the chimney vents do have smoke coming out of them. Like they keep maybe some small furnace or something moving, like going. Every time you've gone there, there has been smoke coming out of the furnace.
Okay.
And it's a collection of them. We'll say it's kind of in the middle. It's almost like you could picture different vents from different rooms kind of running up into the shop. People come and go through this into this chamber. You get the sense that it's the less well-to-do crowd.
The ones they're not sure. Do we need this cage between us?
Yeah. And then Dugan, so you're watching over multiple day time, right? So we'll say the first 5 days, you're just basically trying to get a gist of how they run their operation. like traffic coming to and fro. Is that what you're trying to gather?
Traffic coming to and fro. When they open, they close. Do they go for lunch? Do they close for lunch?
Yep. So these 2 tiefling warriors, you realize that there's actually 4 of them. They're just all dressed similar, and they do operate in 2 shifts of 8 hours apiece. And then in the dead of night, they're gone from like about 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. There's no guards. They don't open shop early either.
Okay.
Occasionally you do see Panver Imswitch leave. And how do you see him leave? Give me a perception check to represent your gathering of information or spying, basically.
So can I use my new rogue ability to +4 to hear details of a conversation or to find concealed or secret objects, including doors and traps?
Yes.
All right. Fuck. 26.
Panver, this is over the 5-day chunk. You were confused because sometimes you didn't see him coming and going, and the guards, you realize, end up sitting outside at a different schedule than Panver. Panver arrives much earlier in the morning than the guards do, and he leaves shortly. He leaves before they do. Like, he starts his day earlier, ends his day earlier than the guard shifts. You end up kind of like, how is he getting in there? One morning you saw him kind of going down this wide alley, and by the time you flew around back, he was gone.
Okay, there's an illusion back there. That's what he's determined. It's gonna disbelieve the wall.
Okay, with your 26, basically you end up having to kind of take 20 and like search the walls, and eventually you do come across an illusory door, or a wall that is covering the door. And I'm going to delete on the token layer. Let's see if this works. Here you
go. Okay.
There's a door. The door is iron with a big, like the full door is iron. It's reinforced, and there's a keyhole.
Okay.
You do not see Davner come and go from the shop.
Right. Okay.
Or Davhorn, sorry.
Davhorn, yeah. He's upstairs.
Occasionally he does come out of that, like once he came out to receive a shipment of something, and you saw the goat following him around, the creepy goat.
Oh, that's right, the creepy goat.
And I'll give you a look at what they look like, and then he definitely went back in the way he came.
All right.
A few times you see him like take breaks by walking out of this set of doors up top, and he smokes along the balcony.
Okay.
And that was only like not even every day. It was only occasional that he came out.
All right.
Give me a perception check versus traps.
Versus traps. Yes. I upped my perception game at 7th level. That's all I did. 39.
Wow. Okay, there is a minor trap along this door. You're pretty sure it's very similar to the sepia snake trap that that Sunny got tagged with. and there's also an arcane lock on the door. The door lock is amazing, plus the arcane lock.
Okay.
So you have a DC 50 reinforced iron door.
All right, so I can't open that lock.
Guarded by a DC 20 permanent illusion. And then you see the DC Snake 20 DC 31 sepia snake trap.
Okay.
The reinforced iron door lock would be DC 40 if the magic was removed from it.
I can do that.
Okay, so that's the information that you gain in the first 5 days of spying on the shop. Let me see. If I roll high, you actually see a important customer. So we'll say 5 or 6, an important customer arrives. During this time, it was just a constant flow of people into the small secure chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have knowledge local or any sort of profession rogue?
No, he does have knowledge local.
Are the ranks higher than just your level? Or is the total higher than just your level?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Roll D20 plus your level or knowledge local.
I take that back. I've got 8, yeah. Knowledge local. $25.
This man is a fence, and he seems to be indiscriminate in who he deals with.
Okay.
There are all walks of life that seem to come into that little secure chamber to dispense with goods.
Okay, then.
Duggan, the treasures.
It does raise the question, though. If we steal all his goods, where do we sell them? If he's the big fence, jeweler fence.
There's a fence that lives right across the street from Steel Rose, the Steel Rose Mill.
Yeah, there's Grandemir, and then there's this guy. I don't know. It could very well be Grandemir's going to go, nope.
It's an interesting concern. Duggan's also wondering, what treasures do they have in this bunker?
Oh yes, he is. He's going to go talk to Grandemir because he's not going to rob this place if he's got nowhere he can dump it.
Okay. All right, so let's go to outside entrance of Steel Rose outside, I think. That's where we have Grandemir. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm missing Granemir's token. Where did Granemir go? Did he get dragged away with the Imperial census?
I think he did. He was out there stomping mad.
If you could help me find him.
That's right, yeah.
Also, with put in the notes, with the sale, a bunch of our shops grew in size.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Duggan, you managed to wander back to you're 10 inches tall and can turn invisible 3 times per day, plus the power that you normally have. Like, nothing stops you. I will say a D1, 1 in 100 chance that you have an encounter.
There's a little fade with I see him.
I literally have to run into trouble.
Yep. Yeah, you get to Granemir's. Granimir is just finishing up with 3 customers, as his shop is definitely grown in I wouldn't say in size. The shop hasn't changed. The quantity and quality of things in his shop has increased immensely. you are glad to also be 10 inches tall and a flyer, as his shop is crammed. And there are some people that are, he's haggling with somebody who knocked over a vase. You have taken a peek behind his counter. They are a bunch of cheap vases that he keeps on. He's got like a box of cheap vases that he puts one out near the door where things are precarious, and probably charges people 5 to 10 times as much as what he bought them for. You can see somebody getting upset and pay. If this is all I got, this will do.
We'll just add that to the difference to the price of your next item at your next visit.
I'm never coming back here.
Never say never.
That's because it was the best customer service.
He sees you, and then he kind of lords in his little position of power by taking a really long time with the next two customers, excruciatingly so. Like, he actually gift wrapped the last.
Dugan, if he takes too long, Dugan actually robs the customers so they have no money to pay.
All right, give me your sleight of hand.
I don't have my item yet, though, right? From Dee Dee?
No, she's in. No, she's in the process of crafting still.
All right, she's crafting it, so she's got that. 26.
Grimstone might see.
I swear my.
Perhaps we could put it off to the side.
But I need it.
Yes, we all have our needs. But without coins, your needs are simply wants.
He puts it. He puts the item underneath the desk, and the guy goes searching for his coins for a while, and then eventually, Granimir is keeping an eye on him.
What can I do you for, Dugganschmirph?
Good evening. How are you tonight?
I see you come to my shop to spend some coin.
As a matter of fact, I've come to discuss a business arrangement.
What sort of business arrangement?
Well, you buy all sorts of goods from us, but there's another jeweler down in the Foreign District.
His face is trying to maintain a smirk or like a smile, but he's also angry, and his face is now twitching. You can see one eyelid is twitching uncontrollably.
I think that you do.
I've got lots of competitors, those that have treated me cruelly in the past. You see?
He buys all the best stuff, doesn't he?
If it wasn't for... Oh, and him. Oh, and those three. And that coaster. Well,
He's going through a list in his mind.
circumstances had me set up shop here in the old stacks where nobody cares. And now that Granimir is actually doing good business. Speaking of business, no browsing if you're not buying. Get out!
The guy that you robbed is now like, oh, I can't. If you see it, if you see a pouch, it's got an M embroidered on it. Could you?
Sure, I'll keep an eye out for it.
As he leaves, Dugganschmirph telekinetically knocks that vase by the door down.
The person scoots out.
Oh, you'll have to add that to his bill.
Did you find my wayward staff yet?
Not yet.
Ah,
However, what if perhaps the jeweler in the foreign market, I can't remember his name because it's not important to me, of course, but
jeweler,
what if his reputation should be sullied
foreign
and
market.
and perhaps his goods taken from him?
You've got a death wish, Dugganschmirph.
Oh, me, I would never do such a thing as that. But if it were to happen, would an enterprising merchant such as yourself be interested in his goods?
You shouldn't tell me anymore. I don't care where these things come from. There are laws that I have to follow. And my kind and your kind are long lived.
Noted.
You bring things here. I can make them disappear.
Oh, of course you can. Unless, of course, they don't have lead on the top of the fucking box.
What are you talking about?
You sold me a bad box, and you know it.
I showed you exactly what the box was.
You know exactly what I was asking for, and you gave me a cheap knockoff.
He points to something that basically says "buyer beware." Of course, it's in Sylvan, and maybe not everyone can read Sylvan.
Anyway, just keep your coffers full. You'll have lots to buy soon.
You are looking for my staff, are you not?
We'll get around to it. We watch everything, you know.
You need a diplomacy check. You can add 4. You're speaking 2 for you're going to hit his rivals 2 because you're about to make him a lot of money. Apparently,
34.
Yeah. Granamir didn't seem to have any worries.
All right. So we can sell our shit. That's good. All right. We're going to follow... Oh, fuck. I forget his name already. The freaky little halfling.
Okay. His name was Panver.
Panver, thank you. Yes, we're going to follow Panver to and from. I want to know where he lives.
Yeah, I think you already did this, didn't you?
No, I didn't quite follow him all the way home.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he tries to keep out of sight as he tries to go back into his home. I remember now. Give me an opposed. We'll do an opposed stealth versus. I'm just going to set a DC. The DC is 30.
34.
Okay, so at the last moment, he spins a ring. He disappears. But you did catch a glimpse of something disappearing in a like a bit of a storm drain.
Okay. Is there sewer access nearby?
So you follow him down.
Can I even fit in the sewer grate?
Yeah. You know, he went into the storm drain. It's just sort of like a sideways. There's sort of a little rivet in a storm drain entrance. It's probably big enough for a halfling to go into. You did see like the grating that was put in. Some of it is kind of peeled back, and it kind of bounced a little bit. You easily fly down the storm drain. You end up in a really clean section of the sewer that looks like it's been bricked off.
Okay.
It goes under the street.
Okay.
To the house across the street.
Okay.
And you end up in a root cellar that is well stocked. And he's currently gathering up what you can gather, like the ingredients for his evening meal in the root cellar when you sneak down there.
Okay.
You see a ladder that leads up to a hatch, and it's like the next door. It's like the home.
Yeah, he's gonna hang out and wait till this guy basically falls asleep.
Okay, you go into his home. At his front door, you can see what is effectively a double large crossbow on a stand pointed directly at the front door.
Noted.
And there is a spot in the door where it looks like there are 2 holes that have been carved out of the door and like filled in with putty. Like at any moment he could just pull a trigger and his little mini ballista would
Go on,
fire through the front door. He obviously doesn't use the front door.
Yep.
The main floor, you find a sitting area. It is crammed. The house is like, it is borderline poor area, but the furnishings in here all don't match and are borderline extravagant. Like beautiful embroidered pillows on this one chair that he sits in. None of it matches. Like it's all from different homes or different craftsmen.
Okay.
There's a nice writing desk. There's this big stuffed elephant head with the ivory tusks that have runes on them that is kind of jammed into here. It's like a little thief's kip full of all these treasures that he may have gathered up throughout the years. A lot of it's bulky in furniture. Might be some sentimental value to some of this stuff. There is an upper floor where you find a king-size bed for a halfling. Square, big post on the bed. There's a gauze that he puts down over the bed before he goes to sleep. The gauze is weird, and the gauze might actually be magical because it's hard to see him when he's sleeping.
Okay. Does he sleep with his keys?
Nope. Yeah, he's at home. His keys end up on an end table beside his weird concealing bed.
Okay. Now,
he basically has some sort of concealment effect with the gauze, and he hid in the pillows and blankets and then went to sleep. You were watching him, so but he had cover. So yeah, you actually have to make a perception check to.
Well, my first question is, I've got thieves' tools. Does that include like maybe one of those wax impression kits you can take a impression of a key with?
Sure. Give me a disable device check.
Okay.
And then probably a stealth check.
All right, disable device first.
It has something to do with a piece of cheese in the movie once.
43.
Okay, you get a really good indentation of this key. It's a little bit complex. It's got 4 heads on it, so you kind of do 2 impressions. You're pretty sure the metalsmiths in like between Cog and Slake, somebody will be able to reproduce this.
And given that he's sleeping, I'm assuming invisibility doesn't count for anything.
Nope.
So. And a 38 on the sneak.
Okay, while you're doing this, his basically sleep time breathing pattern does not change. You don't even disturb him.
Okay. I'm going to quietly just, he wants to like search for notes or anything, but without really disturbing anything. So he's likely to miss something, perhaps.
You get the sense that he's got like adventuring rogue gear. Little halfling-sized rapier, some daggers, maybe a magic pair of boots. It's hard to tell without, like, everything is fine quality.
Okay.
You do find some nice smelling soaps and perfumes in a little bathroom, like with like a fancy tub. It's almost like you're like, we need a wagon, but we could rob this guy's house too.
You're next, buddy. We'll see how long the initial one takes.
Right. You don't know where he actually stashes his coin. Like, he does have a small purse that he carries.
Yeah. He's got no plans on robbing him or taking anything right now aside from this impression. He does want to make sure that when he puts the key back, though, the key is clean.
Yeah, the key does not have any wax on it.
Yeah, okay. He gets the hell out of there.
There were other keys on the ring. One of them was probably for the front door, and then you kind of snuck in while he was busy grabbing some gear, and he did throw a latch. So the last thing that you'll need to do to figure out if you go the way you came, you're going to close the lid, kind of that leads into the sewer, and you need to like fiddle in to get the latch back on.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay.
The device. Or...
The disabled device for this is 25. This is more of a like keep.
Yeah, he auto makes that.
Okay. So you reset everything and end up flying out of there with an impression of the keys. Cool. We'll get to the role-play encounters at the end. Cog is recrafting Tehla for 3,000 gold pieces. He's doing some trading. And then I left an open question of whether he's purchasing, crafting, or scribing. Amadeus, during this downtime, is retraining a feat. Mark, what feat are you retraining?
I am retraining Kraken style because it was something I was planning on taking. I'm going up with the combat style master where you can switch styles as a free action. However, there were other things I wanted first, and so the Kraken style was a prereq to get that.
Okay.
Because you need a second style. But seeing as I don't have it yet, and I'm not going to use it till I have the till about 9th level, I decided to retrain it and take quick draw instead.
Quick draw, and we ruled that your specially coiled and readied ropes on a belt would be able to be quick draw, kind of like how we've expanded quick draw to wands.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. And then Amadeus wants to talk to Slake, which we'll do at the end. So there's talk to Slake, and then there's Dugganschmirph is make key, and then you're dealing with Edgar.
Yeah, we're basically trying to get him through the worst part of his withdrawals.
Yep.
And then Amadeus is going to send him home to like make amends with your family and make right what you've done wrong.
Okay, so 10 days is enough to get him through the worst of his withdrawals. This is from the weird drugs that he was taking from the doctor in the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Give me
the skin sloughing thing.
Yeah,
it takes 60 days to go away.
Okay, so
roll a d6 to see how many of the 10-day periods he was from it ending.
And then give me a heal check to see if you understand what's going on.
All right, so 2.
So it would have been 20 days. He had 20 days left when you got him, so it's probably done by now.
Yeah. Yep.
And the heal check. 16, no? 28.
He's still sick. No, sorry, 20 days from when you got him. We adventured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, so 50 days ago. He's
right, so he's good.
Yeah.
It's worn off.
All right, now give me a diplomacy check. As you're trying to convince him
10
to not go back to his life of crime and that sort of thing. All right, and now give me a sense motive check to see if you believe his crocodile tears.
I probably don't, because I'm not very convincing, but I'm also very hard to fool.
Stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. I don't believe you.
Sense motive now. Yeah, it is that much, right? 20, maybe not.
Okay, he is more. Let's see. He was a what level alchemist?
7th.
7th, yeah.
7th?
7th level alchemist with bluff as a class skill.
Oh.
It's certainly doable.
Fuck.
Not quite, though.
He's a lying shit kid.
Okay, so he is more interested in escaping and his freedom after being locked up for 50 days than he is in righting any of his wrongs. Like, he is more concerned about how fucked up his life is right now and the people probably he's dealing with than going to make amends.
Okay, well, if you go back to your foolish ways, I will pick you up again. and I will bring you to the authorities to be hung by the neck.
Amy, I wouldn't do these things to you. You got to trust me. I guess I deserve that. Amy, you got to get me out of here. This wizard is driving me nuts. I don't even know why you got this guy locked up in here. Do we need to go to the rat den? We're gonna go to the rat den because I think you guys have forgot that you're playing jailer.
We go down there.
I'm the rat catcher and the wizard. I'm not the jailer.
Amadeus probably ends up being the jailer because he's probably the only one responsible enough to remember to feed them.
All right, Azrael is naked and he is drawn all over the walls in basically excrement and any excrement, blood, and any other fluid he can get his hands on. He's trying to recreate his spell book. He's got he's woven part of the bedroll he was sleeping on into a hat. And the hat distinctly looks like it's a beak, and he's currently flying away. I'm flying! See, the fly spell worked! This guy is just sleeping lots, and it seems to have lost a lot of weight. And Edgar is like, come on, you can't keep me in this place. There's nothing to do in here. Amy. This ain't right. I'm better. Look at my skin it's healing. You gave me a second chance, Amy. Second chance. You could punch me whenever you want. How about that? You come up to me. You could check on me in about a month from now, and you just give me a good old huff. Just wind up. Just not anything with like. Don't wear your rings or whatever.
Come with me, Edgar. He opens the door.
Can I go? You
we'll
think
be
his
back.
name is
I'll be back for you.
As I said last time. I'm flying! I am a sanctioned wizard!
Amadeus might just be bringing him to the insane asylum.
Yeah,
he brings Edgar to the mill.
Okay. I'm going to move Edgar to the Steel Rose Mill. Stairwell.
Sure.
You can hear Slake just in the back. You can hear the pinging of the of his forge, which has kind of forced a lot of the group into doing their stuff in the stairwell as opposed to right next to the forges. Agony's disappearing in the back. He's meditating in the back. Dee Dee actually has a stall at this point in time. Yeah, she's setting up her little drawing station. You can see all sorts of wilting flowers all along this like lemon cart, basically lemonade stand. People are actually stopping by, and she's sketching their likenesses.
Good for her, is what he thinks.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Oh, I want to show you something. There's a lesson in consequences. Amadeus grabs a nice, long, 50-foot coil of rope.
Okay.
Then he grabs Edgar.
Hey, Amy.
Ties him up.
Okay, all right.
And throws him over the edge.
What the fuck?
But not so far that he hits the bottom. Just high enough that our little lizard friend can almost jump up at him.
What's going on?
This is what happens.
Holy fuck, there's a dragon down here, Amy!
I'm well aware it has a name.
What's it
you
called?
Go back to your ways and don't try to make amends for your villainy. This is where you'll end up. Do you understand me?
Yeah, Amy, I got you.
You're adorable. We know.
Yes.
Hey, Mark, you're adorable.
Intimidate check.
Okay. Sorry.
Intimidate check.
Yeah. Yeah, you can add 2 because you basically no, you add 4. 2 for
Add 4?
you just manhandle him with your grapple checks, and then he's gonna get fed to a lizard.
Oh my god!
Hey, look, it's a pinata.
All right, Amy, you made your point. I guess we go through
pulls him back.
We go through the bluff sense motive game again.
Yeah.
All right, he gets a 32 on his bluff this time.
Holy crap! And I rolled a 1, so I believe him.
Okay. I peed a little. I don't think that's normal. I don't know if that was the ropes or the dragon you got down there, but Amy, come on, Amy. We go back long ways.
He unties him.
You know, it was the drugs, right? It was the weird shit that was. It was all polluting everything. Like I wasn't thinking straight.
I hope so. Make amends, Edgar. You've done a lot of wrong.
Okay. You're talking about all the wrong I did along the way, right? Not like how do I? You're not on that weird drug, are you?
No, I'm not on any weird drug. Talking about the children.
Oh yeah, that. Sure, I'll make some donations, and I'll let you know if I find any more of those weird toys. I swear, it was just a delivery. We didn't really know.
If I find out otherwise, you'll regret it.
Okay.
On your way.
Just right now, like.
Get out.
Okay, all right. I was hoping I could get my stuff, but all right, I'll find new stuff. You take care of yourself, Amy. And he's now looking around at like where the fuck he is, and he runs out. Okay, that didn't take 2 blocks of time. That only took 1 block of time.
All right. He is going to. That wizard's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. The wizard snapped.
He's taking him to the loony bin, like one of those. It's a drop off here.
Okay, I don't know if we've ever detailed the loony bin. So
we
Mark,
did find there was an insane asylum. So
are you spending a DM point to tell us what all
I am
about this
spending an DM point.
Okay.
Sure. I actually did some stuff preparing for something.
Why would we have an insane asylum? That would what kind of story would have
Oh, memory loss. And...
What is it called, and where is it, and why does Amadeus know about this place?
Amadeus knows about this place because his mother spent some time here.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds here. Where's my world building section? Oh no, it's under my stuff.
This is the family that thought it would be neat if they turned you into your current form. Is that?
No, well, no, that was
the rival family turned him into his current form.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Family
rival family.
Yeah.
Where did I put all my stuff for that? Hang on.
I don't know.
Oh, it's in a whole another file. I ended up with so much stuff in Oh no, I lost all my stuff.
You don't like the sound of that?
No.
At this point, you have to start doing the kids in the hall. My pen.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where we're
You see
at.
my stuff?
What's it called? Do you remember?
No, I don't. Saint Josephine's House of the Troubled.
I'm gonna just look up troubled.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you check the wizard in there. They definitely immediately see signs of him being troubled as he's pretending to cast spells.
Mhm.
And they will take Azrael, the sanctioned wizard, off your hands. You stick around long enough to do some paperwork, and they do accept this effectively a walk-in. A few times they had to have Azrael sign a form, which involved him scratching an X, guided with his hand. And then they also took a pinprick of blood and made him make a thumbprint in a box.
Okay.
Good thing he's not actually a sanctioned wizard.
That problem, Amadeus is convinced that he'll have a better life here. If he was convinced otherwise, I don't think he would have brought him to the
No,
asylum.
he's no.
At least he will not do harm to others in this place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people, can someone remind me why the other guy was in there?
This guy. Go ahead, Adam.
He was one of the thieves that was the original group that tried to steal Slake and Cog.
Who got caught later in the neighborhood.
Trying to collect a wizard to go bribe a train.
Okay. And he's not talking, or he doesn't have information?
He did give some information on the group that he was working with. He did have some information that was provided. He talked. He talked because he thought he was getting let go. Then you just let him go.
Amadeus can't see. All right, he's going to bring this guy up with the rest. Sort of a house meeting at the mill, I guess.
Sure.
Why did you leave this? Wait, is the prison empty now?
We still have that guy? What's going on? I think we got a lead. We got a lead, but we were worried about him tipping people off,
or him
right?
tipping them off.
Okay.
And then you guys got busy with other things.
Forgot he was there. Sad.
Wow. Is there anything you're doing with the last block of time in your downtime, Amadeus?
Just protecting the neighborhood.
Okay. Give me a profession bounty hunter.
Uh, 31.
Okay, so you make 15 gold protecting the neighborhood by dragging in a couple of bounties at the same time.
Okay.
Some drunks and others that thought they could hide in the old Stacks neighborhood because there was no law here and the gangs were kind of mild.
Well, to be fair, yeah, we were.
Yeah, they don't tax you here.
Compared to
so,
the gang that feeds people to dragons, yeah, we're pretty mild.
They don't tax you here. Like it's like a vacation, and yeah, you found some guy drunk at a tavern, and it was pretty easy. Dassod retrains a feat. We'll let Ahmed describe that when he gets back, and then Sunny is just doing 15 days of face punch training. So we'll say that Sunny accompanies Agony to the Sylvan Acres where they train under what was his name? The guy with the little white dragon familiar.
So you're saying I should stand here and let them hit me?
Right.
Why would I do that? Additionally, just as for a bit of spellcast flexing, in that period of time, Sunny also produces 150 doses of holy water.
150 doses. Okay. Delthan Silverclaw is the silver dragonborn monk that has been training Cog and Agony. He's the one that with the little gold or the little silver dragon. Is it gold or silver? I forget.
I think it was silver.
Familiar. It's been a while now.
It was swimming and had a cold breath.
Yep. That's right. Doaki. That's right. Okay. Yeah, and then Sunny just stays when Agony goes back. Actually, he'll read the manuals near Sunny, occasionally asking you questions about arcane stuff, and he's beginning to piece together what he needs to do to go up the path of greed. And part of this, Sunny, is gathering up a hoard of considerable enough wealth to then molt over, kind of bond with and molt over. The exact amount, it's not like thou shalt have 16 ounces of gold. It's more of the dragonborn must feel accomplished by the amount of wealth that he has relative to his peers to prove his greed.
It's not the wealth itself, it's the spiritual connection to the wealth. It's how you perceive the wealth compared to those around you.
But how much?
What you deem to be enough.
You keep taking till it feels good inside. I'll show you how it's done.
I think I know.
It's a spiritual thing. There is no number for this. Also, my face hurts.
You should block more with your arms.
It's easier if they let me turn into an elemental first.
They're just going to take out the studded weapons like they did last time.
Sunny can pump out 10 first circle cleric spells.
Oh yeah. How many am I adding to
150.
150 vials of holy water to add to his
one more downtime, and
there's some glass blowers somewhere that are just love you.
No, it's all going into the small barrel that Slake carries.
He keeps bringing the glass back. Where it's the same chunk of vials.
274 flasks of holy water is now on Slake's character sheet. That is awesome. Some demon or devil is just gonna have such a bad day. Just chucking his head into the
dunk
water.
Tank of holy water.
Yep.
And he bought the Pearl of Power 2.
Nice.
Because Pearl of Power 2 is awesome.
Yep. I imagine you're doing some scribing in the evenings or something like that.
We did have some scribing to do, but we decided that being punched in the face was more important.
Okay. You could do 4 hours of scribing in the evening per day, so you could scribe some spells.
Then I'll be scribing some lesser scrolls, like first and second circle.
Sounds good. It sounds like there are a few conversations that need to happen based off of the downtime. So Dugganschmirph, Agony. Sounds like Agony's going to go seek out Dugganschmirph. Dugganschmirph wants to talk to one of the crafters, I assume.
Yeah.
And Amadeus wants to talk to Slake.
Yeah.
And then wants to talk to the party. Okay, which one are we doing first?
It's up to you, DM.
Okay, Amadeus, who are you gonna go? You're gonna go talk to Slake to build you a thing.
Yeah.
Slake is the furnace area is even warmer than normal, and you can see all sorts of projects that are being completed and are being worked on. It looks like Slake has everything laid out for suits of armor. You can see things drying and hanging up, and he's currently quenching some weird metal bit that he's attaching to the head of the adamantine great axe that was broken a long time ago. I can feel you staring at me. What?
May I have a moment of your time, or is this a bad time?
No, I don't want to donate to Dee Dee's stupid art fair.
It's not about the art fair.
There are no fucking rats in this room. It's too hot for the goddamn rats.
It's too hot for most things.
No, I don't want to contribute to Agony's hoard.
Anything else you don't want to do?
Plenty. You got the time?
I need a belt made.
Uh-huh.
Dee Dee said you might be able to do it.
Fucking fairies. What? No one else could have made this for you.
Well, apparently not.
What do you need a belt for? You're covered
Quicker,
in rope. You
quicker
just gotta...
access to my ropes.
Oh.
Perhaps some hooks or something.
That's the most sense I've ever heard out of you. Did Slake just laugh?
Like, not an evil, oh, I murdered the shit out of them laugh.
I kicked a puppy laugh. That wasn't an I kicked a puppy laugh.
Yeah, all right. And he goes over to this big box of like leather strips and bits and stuff like that, and he starts basically measuring. Your body's fucked up, ain't it? Because he's trying to like tailor the belt around you. Like,
yes, actually it is.
What's this bump? Oh, that's your fucking back.
Part of it, yes, the spine curves weird, strangely.
You want it above the bump or below?
Below, please.
You have to cinch this on tight. Yeah, all right. What's this about hooks?
I want to hang several coils of rope so I can tie up my enemies quickly.
Yeah.
Without having to dig in a bag to grab the rope.
Yeah, all right. Like 3 per side?
That would be excellent, thank you.
Like this. He finds a piece of metal, it's straight, and then he kind of just bends it like that.
Yes,
Maybe a little hook thing on the end.
That would be good, thank you.
Yeah, all right. I'll add it to the list.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Now just fuck off. I'm busy.
As you wish. And he takes off.
Okay.
That was probably the most amicable conversation they've ever had.
Yeah, it seemed like Slake was in a hurry and kind of in between tasks with like molten metal. And Slake, you actually realize, is happy when he's making implements of war and destruction and heavy armor. Although this armor seems to be really shiny, and it's like he's trying hard to buff it so it's not.
Okay. I can honestly see that. Just too fucking shiny. Scuff this up.
It's like a new pair of sneakers when you're running in the dirt. These things are glowing white. Stop that.
Okay, so that was Amadeus. Let's do Duggan. When you go and present yourself to Slake, he tells you to fuck off right away. He's busy. You notice that Cog has finished with Tehla. She's up and running, and has an idle moment.
Oh, so this is Amadeus?
No, this is Duggan.
Duggan. What have you got going there?
Nothing. I've just finished putting the final touches on Tehla Mark III.
So this one, will it explode?
Get bent, is what she says.
I'm just asking.
Yes, bending was the problem before. That part should not bend anymore. If there is too much stress there, then other parts will break. Yes, Cog, I understand.
For what it's worth, most of us would have exploded if that much rocket fell on our head.
It is 95% of the old pieces with some structural reinforcement. It is lucky that the Imperial numeral 2 is easy to turn into the Imperial numeral 3. Oh, Tehla groans at that.
You hear that? Your name's written in Imperial now. Or, as you would put it, in oppressor.
Yes, about that.
What about that?
So you've grown soft? Turned a blind eye to the suffering of your people? And they call you a leader? I would not go there, Tehla.
Can you take her head off again?
Try it, is what she says. Do not in my shop, not near my crafting bench.
Very well. And as for the suffering of my people, once I've got my own suffering under control, I'll worry about someone else's.
Okay, she just gives a slight nod to that.
3 times. You died 3 times.
Okay, she turns and starts fussing with her bow and equipment.
That's what your attitude's getting you 3 times.
You see her fists have been balled at this point.
Dugan smiles.
Cog just kind of waves you out of his little area.
Thank you for agreeing, Cog, as he leaves.
You could hear the conversation continuing in Elven after you leave.
I don't think he speaks it. So
Yep. Cog, with the patience of a saint, is trying to walk Tehla constantly off of a cliff. Eventually, I think Cog may curb the chaotic tendencies out of Tehla, so that she can be taken as a cohort. Because I don't think you can have a cohort that's opposite in alignment than you are.
Has to be within 1 step.
Yeah. So I think Cog is in the process of trying to get her from turning into basically another Slake monster. Okay. Dugan, what are you doing with your key wax?
Oh, he wants to take it to a locksmith, I guess, in Crow's Nest.
Oh, so you're not getting the party to do it?
Oh, can someone in the party do that though?
Cog's got craft clockwork up the yang, and Slake is
okay. He'll get Cog to do that.
Okay, yeah.
That's
all right.
perfect.
That's what I thought you were going to go.
Are powered by keys.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You're right.
You're supposed to go in there and ask for a favor, not just stir the pot.
Yeah, you go and like Cog is now waving you out. It's like, what are you doing back?
Oh, wait. I need you to make something for me.
He just gives you a look, like sort of exclamation, like, seriously, this is how you ask?
Yes, it is. You're welcome. And he hands him the impression. I need you to make that key for me.
He nods. How durable do you need it?
Very. Like I needed to use it every day.
It can be done.
Okay, how long?
Is this important?
I'm feeling impatient. How important is that?
All right. I will need... Iron is okay?
I believe so, yeah. What was the original made out of?
It was probably made of iron.
Iron's fine.
Very well. Give me 2 days.
2 days, all right.
And 50 gold.
50 gold. It's a good thing I robbed someone today. How much did I get from the guy from the shop?
Oh, yeah. So, you got 10 gold pieces from the guy.
Okay, so I'll subtract 40 from my...
Okay.
From my character sheet. Fine. Highway robbery.
He needs a few tools so that he can make can make keys. So,
You might want to keep those tools. Make sure they're top quality. You might be making more keys in the future.
yeah, I'm going to add to his character sheet that he's got key makers tools +2. So basically masterwork. To add to his clockwork tools.
Yep.
Yeah. He'll be done basically just sort of as we're finishing up downtime. Slake dons his new armor. And when Amadeus is trying to call a party meeting, stepping out of the back for the first time is Slake in his new armor.
Shiny.
Where?
Oh, the new token?
Yep. No. Capper said, "Ooh, shiny," and Slake is like, "Where?" And he's looking around.
Behind your shoulder? You missed the spot.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, to your left. What does it say on the collar?
It's dwarven for vengeance.
Huh.
What happens if somebody comes up from behind you?
Do you see any places to stab? And he turns around, and when he turns around, he's able to move really quick. You get a sense that he's got much more maneuverability in this armor, even though it looks quite impressive.
Blocky.
Yep.
Yeah. Neato. That's pretty. So you see, like, are you all like jumpy now?
Yeah, this armor's actually lighter than the other stuff. Doesn't look it. That's why, took me for a long time. You look very handsome, Slake, says Dee Dee. Yeah.
So that's what you did with the pile of the little links. You were taking apart all the shirts.
Oh no, I made this, and he pulls out this wonderful looking tower shield with a big diamond in the center, like a diamond shape kind of thing in the center. I also repaired the sled because that was kind of fun.
Hey, we should go cog sledding again.
As long as we get to kill something at the bottom.
Certainly that can be arranged.
Agony comes wandering out of the back with his scrolls in hand, and pretty soon the important members of the Steel Rose Watch have gathered.
Sunny shows up. He's got black eye and scrapes everywhere.
I'm sorry to have taken you all from your preferred activities, but there's something I think we need to discuss, and I wanted everyone's opinion.
Mister's probably too big to hang out in these rafters, so she's
probably now, yeah.
She's down with the horses and stuff.
That's okay, Amadeus. We always. It's always good when all of us get together.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So what do you want us to kill?
Nothing. I would like to bring up the fact that we still have a prisoner who's been down in our cells for months now.
You mean the wizard guy?
No, he's been hospitalized.
Oh, was he sick?
Quite.
Huh.
Oh yeah, he went little bonkers.
You thought he was...
When you play with your poo-poo, that's bad because that causes all sorts of disease and stuff, and then the rats come and this is a problem.
Yes, so I brought him away.
Hmm.
That leaves one more.
Oh yeah, that guy. Weren't we gonna let him go?
Yeah.
Checked out his story.
Not until we find out where Cog and I came from.
Yeah. So, where'd you come from?
I don't know, the name we've got. Slake says it much quicker than Marty does.
We've all been there.
Alberto. And then there's the Manticore Company. They'll know something. And then there's that wizard guy. The one who got Tehla's parts. Belichick's.
Very well. So what purpose does this prisoner serve?
Well, he knows a lot about us by now, so we let him go, he'll talk. So he stays put. Or we could have a little fun.
No, we will not be doing that. So you're voting to keep him prisoner and keep feeding him for the rest of his life?
No, but now that I've got my armor, I'm ready to kill some wizards.
With all due respect, Slake, I believe you're ready to do that with or without your armor.
No, but I'm ready now. I've got my armor, my shield, the adamantine axe is fixed, I've got a backup shield. We're ready.
He's got his dwarven mojo back. And Capra's like whispering to one of the people beside him, just randomly.
Yeah.
I think he's got his dwarf mojo back.
She just nods slightly and politely. She recognizes a bigger monster than herself.
So he stays put. He's getting free meals and he's not running around doing bad stuff.
Maybe. Is there like, you know those trains? Why don't we just put him on a train and then he can be,
Sure. Or sell him to the Imperials for all I care. Stick him in a mine somewhere, whatever it is that, wherever all those people you capture end up.
Most of those people have bounties.
Yeah, and where the fuck do you think they go?
But some of them go to prison.
Yeah.
Debtor's prison.
And what do you think they do there in prison? Chain gangs, breaking rocks, going into mines, digging out salt, lifting heavy shit.
Not all of them. The worst ones, for sure.
Oh, he kind of pulls out of his belt, your belt, and just sort of slings it over his shoulder.
Your belt's done.
Oh, thank you. Fits quite nicely, thank you.
It's freaky looking, like one of those paintings where it's all wrong because the things it's like it's round, but it's not round. But when then Amadeus puts it on, it looks round again.
And the smiley face is gonna go here. Slake's head move. He doesn't argue.
Very well then. Do the rest of you agree?
So what are we agreeing on again?
The question is it time to release this prisoner?
Well, I don't know if it's time to release him to his own the thing where he goes off by his own
Recognizance.
Yeah, that one. I don't think he's maybe we just, we can send him to he can take one rock and turn it into a little rock, and then we should be fine. We should get it done by then.
I don't know what you just said.
Bounty. Go claim a bounty on him and some good will happen of him. Otherwise, I'm feeding him to the lizard.
We're not murdering people.
The lizard will murder people then.
No. If I tied you up and handed you to the wizard...
Wait, we're tying who up? What?
Oh, I'm speaking in hypotheticals. I would be responsible for what that wizard did to you. It is no different with us and this lizard. We know what it does.
He's a gang member, right? Like the type that went around kicking in doors and demanding people's hard-earned pay?
Yes.
I'm sure there's a bounty for that. Go sell him to your Imperials.
I will see if there is a bounty on him.
We'll make one up. Say he's a gang member.
make up bounties.
No, it fucking works.
How do we, as upstanding members of society, get bounties put out on people?
Theoretically, you would go to the constable or deputy. However, ours are lackluster at best.
Well, this is perfect. We go and we give $50 or whatever. We say, hey, we got this guy who's all sorts of terrible doing things, and we need him to, go to timeout for a while, and then you just give him the money.
What do you think? I could put 1,000 gold piece bounty on his head. How long do you think he'll last?
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
I'll
but
go after
then you'll just end up back here.
I'll do it for 1,000.
I will see there's a bounty available on him.
Just say you caught him breaking into some shit and hand him over to the sheriff. If you need to pay the sheriff to make him go away, then here. Slake digs around, gives you 10 gold.
Amadeus eyes it like he's gonna give it back.
How much did the donation to the sheriffing fund cost anyway?
I can't remember, Marty. You took the.
Oh, it was 500 gold.
That was quite expensive.
Huh. So, but we already know how to donate to the sheriffing fund. So.
Yes, believe me.
What
What would it cost for that? We could feed him for many, many years.
Well, but there's also he poops and it's just lying there. And it's gonna get lice. At some point, we're gonna have to go and shave him. Rats come.
Not it.
Please.
Yes, also not it.
Yeah, so make him disappear.
I will make him disappear.
Okay. So do you need money for the sheriffing fund?
No, if I cost anything, I'll let you know.
Okay.
No,
Do we know his name? Because I'm sure he's not going to tell me.
It's Gregoire. Gregory.
Gregoire.
Greg something? Greg?
And what gang was he a member of?
The rats, I think.
No, he was one of the thief. They were a thief something or other.
Gregor.
They were like a thieves guild or something.
Oh,
like
that's right. He's different thief guy. Yeah. I like humans. It's hard to keep track of them all.
The rats were like little kids with like old fat guys in charge. This is just sort of like a middle of the road kind of. Well, he used to be kind of a poorly guy, but now he's all kind of skinny.
Gregor was part of the Black Hill gang of thieves. The job to steal Cog and Slake came through Hairy Toes, through Lightfoot, and Belichick was either the buyer or the seller, and they've got rivals. Remember that? Good thing I wrote it down. See, I remember. I wrote it down near the smiley faces of the trees.
That's because you wanted to go talk to Lightfoot. We never ended up going to talk to Lightfoot.
All right, I will go speak to the constable.
Okay. Thanks, Amadeus.
You're welcome.
Thanks for clearing out our prison.
Someone has to.
Hey, you should be the jailer.
No, I don't want to be the jailer.
Let's see, show of hands. Amadeus is in charge of the jail.
This is why people hate the fae. And he walks away.
There goes the Steelwatch jailer. See, I told you, not it. I'll still come and heal them.
Okay.
Yeah, you're trusted enough as a bounty hunter at this point that you say if he's a criminal or if he was caught doing things, they'll charge him at least.
He was trying to kidnap someone, basically.
At a minimum, it was attempted grand larceny.
Yeah. Okay. They listen to the charges, and you're not sure whether you'll be. They want to know where you live, like they forgot.
Really, you forgot where I live?
No, yeah, he was in charge of imperial census of the entire South Wall
Yeah,
district.
how many of them paid 500 gold pieces to say I live there?
Oh yeah, he's like old stacks, right? And he looks at your pin, and then
Right.
yeah, you jog his memory for him, and this is the point at time where how bad do you want him to go away? Where you could
Send him to
grease
very bad.
grease the wheels of the system.
No, he's not doing that.
Okay, all right.
He's,
So
he's going away for grand larceny. He's going to go through the system like anyone else.
yeah, there's a chance he might just end up on the streets, or a token
The
offense.
jail was pretty full, so.
Okay, but if you're leaving it in the hands of the law to figure it out,
Yep.
They do take your statement, and they do write down where you live if there are questions by the magistrate.
Yep. And it should be noted that he was taken out of the rat's den
Yep.
with that hood on, so he doesn't want to get back in there.
There was a bounty for those particular thieves, and you do get 10 gold pieces.
All right. He will give Slake his 10 gold pieces back.
Okay. Apparently, these rogues had done enough that they had to go underground, and there was a token bounty for
their capture. Okay.
For their capture, and you're like 10 gold. This probably wouldn't get most bounty hunters out of bed.
Out of bed, yeah.
But it's nice payday when you go and clean up a bunch of them.
Yep.
You find a bunch of ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bed.
Type of bounty that we're going to take on a gang of thieves for 10 gold pieces a pop is probably not worth its time.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that there is occasionally a pool of money that comes down through the system that gets divvied amongst all the known criminals, and then so this is a bounty that the Imperials actually paid, not somebody else trying to put a bounty on their head.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you're pretty sure that the sheriff also dips into that fund.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're probably administrative fees of the Yang.
You'll get his, Marty. You will get his.
Yep. Okay.
It is by having his money on a tall set of stairs. Just go climb, buddy.
All right, so Amadeus gets rid of the prisoners. The jails at the Rat Den are now clear. The Rat Den is relatively quiet. It appears that most of the Fae have stopped coming to your neighborhood. There are signs that they do occasionally stay here, but it's not like the beginning of your arrangement where
we were at imminent risk of being overrun.
Right. Yep. Things have begun to quiet down. Now, when Amadeus returns to the stairwell where the party is still gathered around and they've reconvened over a meal,
Sunny's been using is jailer spelled with the G-A or a J-A or a G-E? Sometimes it's pronounced Gala, but it's Jayla because it's a G, but it depends on the timing of the language and the script.
Uh-huh. You keep on telling yourself that. Now, Dee Dee has class skill linguistics, but she refuses to spend time learning other language. She doesn't have the concentration to do languages very well, so I think it's just one of those things she's never going to spend ranks on. Maybe she will if there's a language she really wants to know, but...
Ooh, that one sounds like music.
Right. Dugganschmirph, Agony pulls you off to the side. I need money. Wealth.
We all need money.
No, I need enough that makes the pit at the bottom of my stomach feel full.
Again, you're preaching to the choir here.
It says here, and he's showing you this old scroll, that the dragon that sits upon his hoard must feel a sense of accomplishment enough to allow himself to fall into a deep slumber. Anything that is left undone, or if not enough wealth is gathered, this will eat away at the mind of the dragon, preventing him from entering the
and this big word here means dragon sleep, but I think it also means dragon sleep where you enter some sort of, what was the word, Sunny? Chrysalis?
Chrysalis or molting.
Ah, yes, the molting that happens during the chrysalis. He kind of reaches out and grabs you, like kind of grabs you so he could, like, he pulls you in, like, to one of his dragon eyes. I need money.
He's kind of like, well, if an old scroll says you need money, who am I to argue? You can let me go now.
he puts the scroll down and puts you on the scroll.
All right, you're so desperate for money you can't sleep. I got you. Okay, I've been there. Fortunately, I've been working on a plan. Was Agony with me when you went to the jewelry shop?
You and Agony have talked about the jewelry shop, so I think he was there. He knows about your desire to rob the jewelry shop.
You remember that particular shop in the foreign quarter I was eyeing?
You mean the Jade Alley with all the jade? Hence the name,
Says Kev.
Shut up, Kev!
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about me. I'm just picking up fade droppings.
That's disgusting.
I know, it's all glittery.
He does know he's yelling. If you go like the little girl, he doesn't yell at the little girl.
I don't know. It's just Dugganschmirph. You don't really pay much attention to them until things are dying. Flying around and weird stuff. Don't worry, Dugganschmirph. I'm just working on my Kev.
Keep working.
That's right.
There's like a quill that's going up, like.
Oh, Capper, it looks like a little bit of your horns coming off here. Let me, and he takes a little knife and just kind of get that little burr off there and sticks it in his pocket.
Thank you, Kev.
Yeah, no problem.
You're not gonna eat that. You're not gonna eat that, are you, Kev?
Well, define eating. It's more like absorbing.
Are you gonna put that in any of your holes?
It doesn't quite work that way, but
if it goes in any of the holes, it's eating.
all right. Well, I won't eat it then.
I don't know if I could be his bluff, so yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Sonny's like, oh, that's a good idea. He's gonna go take a piece of. Oh, it's.
Yeah, see right there. It's like it's growing all funny. You still growing?
Yeah.
Is that why you're all awkward and stuff? It's kind of like
he's kind of like manhandling you, but at the same time, you could tell he's like getting your dimensions. It's like, did you just measure how big my back was?
You just measured my back like I was the horse.
well, yeah,
How many hairs in my back?
Your proportions are all like, well, to be honest, fey.
Yeah, because I'm Fey on my dad's side.
Yeah, you got some pretty strong muscles there. Your head would just kind of tip off if you're a human.
Are you saying I got a big head? Or are you saying I have a little dick?
No, leave Capper alone. He's beautiful just the way he is.
Sonny has collected Capra sample.
Hey, what standard are you talking about?
Look at him. He's a fawn. He's strong and he's forceful. He's got nice horns, and look at those hooves.
Yeah, look at that mug.
He's just going through a growing phase.
Yeah, growing uglier and uglier is what he's growing.
Dugan,
She switches to Sylvan.
you know he's only an adolescent, right?
Okay, 2 seconds.
Dugan, you know he's only an adolescent, right?
What do you mean?
He's not full adult.
Oh. So he's going through that phase.
Well,
Dee Dee's like,
yeah.
Okay. So maybe he'll grow into his face.
Yeah. Look how big and strong he is now. Like, Fulgur and Capra is going to be really strong, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, don't worry, Capra.
I mean, if you have to be big, you may as well be strong, because there's no other advantage.
We all think you're special.
He's going off for a bit to have a wine to himself.
All right, Agony, come with me.
It's like the worst thing, worse than being picked on, is somebody being nice to you after you've been picked on. It makes all like the walls of like
yep.
just they all fall down at once. Yeah.
All right, Agony just looks. He looks curiously at Dee Dee and how Capra is behaving, and he's like, "Huh, I didn't realize that. Is that true? Is he only an adolescent?"
News to fucking me. Fuck.
Ahmed, we are mid-game. How's it going?
Hey guys. Hello.
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 Hey, you guys.
Hey guys.
So hurry up and finish my key.
Did you read what I said?
No, I missed it.
For 50% of whatever you're planning, you little blue devil.
All right, Agony's like he's not necessarily concerned with Capra, but he's like he's trying to get Dugan's confirmation that he's only adolescent.
Dugan's like, yeah, if Dee Dee says so, I believe her.
He's big.
I guess. You all look big to me.
You don't know much about your own kind, do you?
Ah, fuck. I know how much money they have. That's all I care about.
Agony laughs at that. So about this heist.
Yeah. I'm already working on it. Let's go find Cog, see how far along he is with Amadeus on this. Or Dee Dee.
Ah, true.
Unless we can fool Dee Dee into thinking maybe they're kidnapping children, and that's why we got to get in there.
No, it is not the path of deceit. It is the path of greed. Greed is.
Listen, we can walk two paths here. I'm very I'm ambidextrous.
No, I think deceit is more of blue dragons.
Fine.
Pollution is definitely black dragons.
Hey,
Cold.
Can you
Savagery would be white.
Yeah, you're lost in your own mind there. We're trying to make plans. Can you do that thing where you make magic go away?
No. I can make us quick. I can make us fly.
Yeah, I need someone to make magic go away.
Sunny,
Probably.
Sunny is pliable enough. I believe he should
All right, we'll
potentially
take
be able to
Sunny.
do that.
And he can turn into tiny birds so he won't be noticed. Handy.
Let's leave Tehla behind. She's loud and unproven.
Agreed.
Fragile.
We can take Dassod for backup.
Dassod would be a good choice. Slake in case we need to bust through a door.
Yeah, but he'll be in the back, like way in the back.
Capra, yes. I'd feel much better with him as backup.
All right. So basically, we're just leaving out Tehla, Amadeus, and Dee Dee.
Yes. Greed is the path of taking more than your share.
Leaving 2 out means more for the rest of us.
Yes, it does.
We'll support them in other ways.
Sure. Besides, Amadeus got all that great stuff in the last treasure pile.
There could be treasure there that they could use. They don't have to know where it comes from.
Exactly. Just like Dee Dee's little crown thingy. Just look how happy she is with it. It was a good thing we did.
I will help you, but I want first choice. Greed is also the path of picking oneself first.
Are you fucking kidding me? I find the stone.
I'm not kidding you. I need to find enough wealth so that I can molt over it. You don't understand.
All right. Here's what's going to happen. After you get your little sleeping disorder sorted out, you're going to owe me.
That's a transaction.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you favor, not coin.
Aye. A favor.
Fine.
It's going to be a big one.
No, it won't.
Quite large.
No, it
Huge.
Like pass the salt. There's your favorite.
Nope.
The salt, and we're even.
And the two of them are going, yep, nope, when they come over to the rest of the group. I don't know if you guys are proposing the heist at this point.
We'll see if Cog's got the key ready or not.
You probably did exit stage left before you start talking about we're going to rob
Yep.
it.
Does Amadeus go and... yeah, I guess he already came back. So Dee Dee is planning out drawings on Slake's back. Slake is just standing there taking it. He knows that it's going to happen whether he fights it or not.
Big yellow smiley face goes here.
Basically, hitting Dee Dee is a death sentence. So, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a little bit distracted, but so is Slake. How are Dugganschmirph and Agony? How are you separating Amadeus and Dee Dee from this? You could go and ask Cog if the key is done, but
yeah, we're gonna go ask Cog if the key's done first.
Okay, are you doing that in front of everyone or not?
No, it'll be a quiet like, hey, that key I asked you to make, is it quite done yet?
It's weird. Agony and Duggan are up to something, Cog. I don't know how many ranks of bluff Agony has.
Let's see how many ranks of.
Nope, it's just his charisma. DC 14. Sense motive check.
Okay.
Sunny already knows.
Hold on. Before you say anything, let me make sure I'm the right character. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Sunny, you were just hanging out with Cog at his workbench and playing with some fluid or something like that.
He knows something's up.
Yep.
Because he knows it's going through the head.
Because Agony's been talking nonstop for the last 15 days that he needs to solve the riddle of greed.
Well, how much? There's no number.
Yep.
It's not a number.
He's got the scroll in his hand.
You feel good on the inside.
So, have I finished the key?
Yeah. The key is done. With taking 10, you've made a copy of the key. It's no problem. It falls under clockwork.
So, I finished what you've requested, Duggan. But he's giving you the key. Like, before I hand you the key,
you know that the key is for a very, very complicated lock. You even found a flange like that was further down the key. That was the final. Like, it was a simple flange, but it could easily have been missed. We're talking about a fine lock, strong, of great quality, like an amazing lock. You made a replica for a key for a DC 40 lock.
What's on your mind, Duggan?
What?
Agony.
This. He hands you the scrolls. It's just a big bundle of scrolls written in Infernal.
You are about as subtle as that hammer on your back, aren't you?
I thought we were supposed to recruit.
Yeah, okay. We don't know what everyone is. Dee Dee does go invisible, you know.
Shh, I can hear her outside. She's planning smiley faces.
As long as that's all she's doing.
He's looking for wealth to quench his Dracothirst.
Right?
That's what Sunny whispers over to Cog.
All right.
Whose will?
That's the point of greed. It can't be your own.
Here's the thing. How guilty would you feel if you were robbing, say...
But one moment. Do they deserve this?
Absolutely, I'm positive they do.
I trust you then.
What I'd like to hear.
They're a
Sunny.
bunch of, well, fiends, aren't they? Tieflings, you said?
Yeah, fiendy sorts. One has a goat that follows him around.
I have a question.
Yes.
That is a very finely crafted key.
It is.
Does it go to a finely crafted lock?
It does.
Was the key magical?
I don't know. That's where you come in.
That key is not magical.
I know, but you come with us and you take the magic off.
All right.
Yes, with your knock-on-door spell or whatever you do.
I can.
The door has one of them
I should roll.
arcane locks on it, making it harder to pick. Now with a key, I probably could get through, but like you said, might be magical, and it turns off an alarm spell or something nonsense like that. So you get rid of that.
Too small for alarm spells to function.
Hmm?
They don't send. You're below any alarm spell doesn't trigger from Dugan.
Yeah, but it would trigger from others though.
It'll trigger for everybody else, but Dugan can.
Yeah, that's right. He's small enough to like just. I'm a bug.
Basic like this is warded. You can't come in. Spell doesn't work against Dugan. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dugan, why don't you pull in a few of the others?
Hey, Slake, we'd like to discuss some
Now, don't move!
wizard
Don't
thing.
you dare move!
I'm busy at the...
Okay, we'll get him later. Cav!
Hold on, yeah. You're looking real pretty there, Slake.
I'll knock your teeth out and we'll figure out if they regrow.
Turns into a little girl. No, please don't hurt me.
Ah! It's like shaking his head.
Hey, Kev. We're going to rob a jewelry store. You want in?
Hold on. I can see the glint in your eye. You really got it in for these guys, huh? All right, let's do it. Like the old time? Bigger crew this time, I see.
We never did a heist before.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't you then.
We.
Never mind about your business.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we going to be offending the wizards?
We are going to be offending wizards. Whether they're the wizards, who can say?
Wizards have
They
wealth.
do, I understand, craft magic in there. Think of all the spell components and inks and things you can buy with your shares, Sunny.
If they craft in there, they probably have spell components and inks in the shop.
Who exactly are we stealing from?
Sunny is feeling like his split lip from the training.
Yeah.
He wants a con item.
The jeweler in the foreign district.
What are they?
What do you mean, what are they?
I mean, what are they like?
Jewelers.
You point
I
like
think
you
they're
know.
jewelers.
We're talking elves. Are we talking
Tieflings.
Oh, good. I don't have one of those.
Yeah, well, one of them likely sleeps there. Second floor.
I like it. All
Yeah.
right.
He's got a goat.
We having a barbecue after? Is that the plan or?
No, I'm just mentioning it, Nate, because you know you might be
This is
have
the
a
magic-
goat like Sonny's got a cow. It's not a normal goat. I'm just saying that.
Whatever.
Is it acting overly intelligent?
It acts overly domesticated. I've not had conversations with it.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna grab my paints.
Oh, okay. It's one of those like everybody's. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna make a plan in my blueprints for Slake's armor. It's got some complicated like bends on it. I think I'm gonna make the eyes pop.
Why don't you put them on a spring so they bounce around?
No, not pop like, but just like visually, they're gonna go pow pow.
Are you sure Slake's okay with that?
Yeah, he said just make it a big smile and do my best work.
Okay.
However, it looks, just tell him it looks good. He can kill us in our sleeps.
Tehla, though, we're gonna have to work on her. She doesn't want me painting her. But maybe there could be some fearsome war paint. Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
I believe they have to sleep if they don't get wound on a regular basis.
You can hear Slake. His last name is Anvilbrow, or his clan name. He wanders into the back. What?
Oh, there's some spellcasters have a jewelry shop. You want to rob it?
Do we get to kill the casters?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
All right then.
He said magic words.
What's the worst that could happen? Couple less casters, then. Wait, how many casters?
Well, probably just the one, maybe two.
All right, couple less casters in the world, and just slowly his gaze goes across the party.
Caster.
What are spell-like abilities?
There's a little girl in the group.
Well, okay, given that no one's prepared today, so how about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night? What spells are required for such a thing?
Well, the one where you make magic go away, we'll probably need one of those. One of those spells where you open up all the locks, makes my job a lot easier.
Yes.
Oh, do you have a spell that can make everyone invisible? Shit's like, everyone but Slake.
Well, I just don't think he wants to be. Slake, would you like to be invisible?
No.
Okay, then we'll leave him be. How about that?
Hey, Slake, are you all right drinking some of my potions? They're like the mutagens. They're not magical.
No. They certainly stink like magic.
Magic doesn't stink.
I don't take it personally.
That's very lovely.
Well, just wanted to know what to prepare.
What do they do?
What do you do?
These non-magical potions that you're talking about,
Oh.
what do they do?
Oh, I've got this excellent one. It's going to make you dig through the ground really quickly.
How is that not magical?
Well, you're using your strength to dig through the ground. It's giving you that boost.